Hello, I'm Ding Zhenduo. I'm going to introduce the next two parts. The one is credibility of qualitative research. The other is evaluating qualitative studies. Okay, let's start with the first one. Credibility of qualitative research. Credibility is the extent to which the data analysis, and conclusions are believable and trustworthy. There are four technical issues related to credibility of qualitative research: triangulation, reliability, internal validity, and external validity. Okay, the first one, triangulation. Triangulation means the combination of results obtained from different data collection methods. In other words, interviews, observation, and document analysis all lead to a similar conclusion. The second one, reliability. In simple terms, reliability means the accuracy of observations. It indicates the extent to which what is recorded as data is what actually occurred in the setting. The third one is internal validity. The subjectivity of observers has a great influence on research. So, threats related to observer effects are of paramount concern, and other threats include maturation, history, selection, attrition, and subject effects. The fourth one is external validity. It's generalizability. Translatability and comparability are terms used to indicate the extent to which the result can be used by other researchers in other settings. It's generally weak in qualitative research. To enhance the credibility of our qualitative research, we can use the following techniques: triangulation, prolonged and persistent fieldwork, copious field notes, low inference descriptors, mechanically recorded data, member checking, web team accounts, researchers' roles as participant of observer. Okay, this form is some specific techniques to enhance credibility of qualitative research. This form gives us some practical method or suggestion during different process and dimension of our research. For example, phenomenology. This column. We need to understand the essence of experiences about a phenomenon during the period of focusing our research. And here, we can take a long interviews with up to 10 people to get a sufficient data collection. Yeah. There are also some data analysis method and narrative forms can be referenced. This form is very useful for us. Okay, next part I'm going to talk about is evaluating qualitative studies. The following is some key points about evaluating quality research we should pay attention to. The researcher's background, interests, and potential bias should be clear. Conceptual and theoretical framework for the study should be clear. The method for selecting participants should be clear. The level of researchers' involvement in the setting should be indicated. The researcher should be trained in data collection procedures. Credibility of the research should be addressed. Descriptive data should be separated from the interpretations of the data. The researcher should use multiple methods of data collection. The duration of the study must be long enough. Okay, and that is all of my two parts. Thank you.
Dear Dr. Mai, dear classmates, this is Li Bin. I will talk about the nature of qualitative research with you. Before talking about the topic, I would like to discuss with you about ontology as epistemology and methodology, because this is a very important topic in sociological research, which generally determines the direction of research. The different understanding of these three problems divide our research into different directions. The first is positivism. They think the true object is independent of the objective world and is unique. It can explore the truth through direct observation. The methodology used experimental and statistical methods to prove that the theory is close to the fact. They think that our natural science research is generally based on this understanding. For example, water can be decomposed into oxygen and hydrogen, which is only one that can be confirmed by experiments and can be observed. The second is interpretivism. They think there is no object truth, and all the essence of existence comes from subjective social construction. The purpose of social research is to understanding and explain phenomena. The research methods are more interview, observation, and test analysis. More emphasis is placed on explain the process and analyzing the effect and the content of the impact. It helps us understand a problem. For example, if you want to study what is unique about the taste of white coffee in Malaysia, we can choose a professional coffee tasting, test different coffee, and summarize the characteristics of Malaysia's white coffee. These conclusions come from some representatives. Must it be true? No one can draw conclusions until they have tried it. The third is realism. They think identify with true object. Disagree the objective truth can be observed. It is necessary to distinguish whether the observed phenomenon is superficial or real. They generally use the methods. The use of a variety of research methods may help us reach more words and complete the this better. This is better. As just said, qualitative research is the collection, analysis, and interpretations of comprehensive narrative data in order to gain insights into a particular phenomenon of interest, used for describing and answering questions about participants and contestants. There is an example. This is a paper have published. The next. The example of an article published by a teacher in the magazine Study in English Language and Education. The question of what is an ideal teacher was discussed. There is the background here, where many may not be mentioned in the paper. According to the author's understanding, the professors of teachers is affected by many factors, such as the progress of science and technology, the development of society, the promotion of the government, etc. But what is a ideal teacher in the correct background needs to be defined. The author raised some questions. The question is about what is a real ideal teacher, what ability do they need, what do they have any common requirements, who sets the standard of ideal teacher, and the author chose a group to answer this question. The group is teacher educators. They train teachers and have their own standards on what is the ideal teacher. The next. This is the author's research idea. He chose 18 teachers and educators to discuss what is the ideal teacher. The 18 participants were not randomly selected. They were teachers from famous university in Malaysia, ensuring the credibility and authority of their opinions. Finally, by analyzing the text and description, the characteristics of the perfect teachers are obtained. In the discussion part, it compares with the published research results, explains the results, and explains why perfect teachers need education and teaching theory. Education and teaching experiences and the ability to give positive feedback to students. The next. Just like the article we just read, it is for a deeper understanding of a topic. This theme is in a complex social environment, and I believe that the standard of perfect teachers is also changing. The next, qualitative research compares the local significance of the topic to the participants group and compares it with other published research conclusions in the discussion part, so as to form an examination. The next, this page discusses the 6 research steps, namely, identify the research topic, review the literature, select the participants, collect data, analyze the data, report the results. These are the same steps as those used in quantitative research. On this point, I read an article. I read a paper have published. Next, the title is the relationship between learning environment and career competences of students in vocational education. This paper published in Journal of Vocational Behavior. This is a very famous. The part have introduction, research question, and research method, and the results and the discussion. It's very similar to our qualitative research. So, everybody, this is my topic about the nature of qualitative research. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, teacher.
Hello everyone, my name is Jiaxin. Next, I'm going to talk about a range of qualitative approaches. There are 9 approaches. Case study, isography, isology, isomethodology, grounded theory, phenomenology, symbolic interaction, action research, historical research. The first one is case study. It means that an effort to seek an understanding of single person or entity. And the second one is isography. It said that an effort to describe and analyze all or part of the culture of a community by identifying and describing participants' practices and beliefs. And third one is isology. It said that an effort to compare several cultures with one another. Isomethodology. It said that an effort to examine people's understanding of their daily activities. Grounded theory. It means that an effort to derive theory grounded in the perspectives of the participants. Phenomenology. It means that an effort to understand the meaning of an individual's experiences. Symbolic interactions. It means that an effort to seek common understandings that emerge to give meaning to participants' interactions. Action research. It means that an effort to seek a solution or improvement to a practical problem in the setting in which it is occurring. Historical research. It means that an effort to seek to understand the past by studying documents, relics, and interviews. And next, we will talk about features of qualitative approaches. First, we will talk about differences between approaches. Different social contexts are being studied in each approach. The participants are selected for different reasons in each approach. Researchers immerse themselves in the situation. The data reflects the participants' perspectives. Sources of data are real-world situations or nature contexts. Data is narrative in nature. Researchers focus on personal interactions with participants. Researchers avoid early decisions or assumptions about the study. Data are analyzed inductively. Methods provide clear, detailed information reflecting participants' voices.
Hello, Dr. Mai. My name is Wang Zhukang from China. Now it's time to me to introduce the ethical issue in qualitative research. Ethics can be considered in the terms of how the research treats the participants in the research setting. The nature of qualitative research provides the potential for conflict and harmful. When we interview the participants window face-to-face, there's a little distance between the research and the participants. Qualitative research is open-ended. The nature of the process we need to require the use of emergent design as the situation unfolded. Some situation we did not forecast before the interview, so we needed to set up the emergent design. Well, except that we just give about 6 guidelines to help avoid ethical problems. First one, researchers should have an ethical perspective that is close to their personal ethical position. Maybe the researchers will be justice and honesty and have the personal ethical position. That is a good basement for us to build the relationship with the participants. Second, informed consent should take the form of a dialogue and morally shapes the research and the results. Well, confidentially is more complicated. People maybe they didn't use the real name when we meet in the first time, and I think the video tape is a good way for us to illustrate the point being made. Well, third, you should be able to identify broad social principles that are an integral part of who you are as a researcher and the contributing member of the community in which you live. Well, in the interviews, we need to meet different people. They might come from different countries and grow up in different families with different value. So, broader social principles can help us to know more people and their past. Fourth, avoidance of harm morally means qualitative researchers to conduct their research in a manner and minimize potential harm to those involved in the study. Well, sometimes we must be send some harm to the participants. Some questions must be let them remember the studies in the past. But we need to reduce this situation happened in the interview. I think that is our duty for for researchers. Where five, even though an action can bring about good results, it is not ethical unless it is also conforms to the ethical standards such as honesty and justice. Sometimes we want to get the good results. We need to use some special ways, but sometimes these ways are not very good for us, and not good at and not good at for the not good for the participants. We need to show honesty and justice to build a relationship with the participants, and that they can acquire a lot of well information from the participants. And the last one, the qualitative research must remain attentive to the relationship between the researcher and the participants, a relationship that is determined by the roles, status, languages, and culture norms. For example, if we just want to ask some questions with my families, the roles were the key point for us to build the relationship. Well, and that is my suggestion, and the 6 guidelines to help us to avoid the ethical problems. Thank you.